Wigan served notice to the big league on Friday that it'll take a mighty good team to stop them winning a 6th championship in a row this season. But here's a team that went as close as any to ending their domination last time. Castleford defend their 100% start to the season against Sheffield Eagles here at Weldon Road. On to the teams. Fullbacks Graham Stedman, overlooked by Great Britain, with a point to prove against Brad Hayes. Wingers Chris Smith is taking his chance now that St John Ellis has moved on. Linton Stott for Sheffield. Simon Middleton resisted the overtures of the Queensland Crushers to stay at Cass. Bright Sodji signed from Hulkingston Rovers this summer. Richie Blackmore is a powerful Kiwi test centre. David Maiko's coming back after a broken arm last season. Tony Smith is a former under-21 international. Mark Gampson is an original Eagle signing 10 years ago. It's his 300th game for the club. Tony Kemp is in outstanding form with 5 tries already. Carl Briggs plays despite the tragedy of his father's death this week. 2 former Leeds starlets at halfback, Gareth Stevens and Darren Turner. Props, Dean Sampson replaces the injured Lee Crooks, and Paul Broadbent is knocking on the door of the international scene. Martin Kettridge is Castleford's longest-serving professional, and Alex Thompson is an academy international who's also played for the under-21s. Hooker Richard Russell and present test number 9 Lee Jackson. The second row, Andy Hay is only 20, and another former under-21 international, Ian Hughes. Ian Smales joined from neighbours Featherstone a year ago. Paul Carr, the Australian, with a reputation as a free-scoring forward. The loose forward, New Zealand international Tawera Nikau and Anthony Farrell. And the coaches, John Joyner, he said he didn't want the Great Britain job after Malcolm Reilly's decision to quit. Gary Hetherington is now not only in charge at Sheffield, he's Ellery Hanley's assistant coach to the British team. So match referee David Campbell is just about ready to get this important match for Castleford underway. 100%ers in the Stonesbitter Championship, Castleford, and they are defending that against Sheffield Eagles. Eagles in their change strip of green today. The Tigers of Sheffield in possession. This is Chris Smith. Castleford, having lost Mike Ford and St John Ellis to Queensland Crushers, managed to continue where they left off last season. Substitutes Richard Goddard and Nathan Sykes for Castleford, and Darryl Powell and John Glancy returning to the fray for Sheffield. Powell perhaps significantly bearing in mind what's to come with the Ashes series in mind. Good kick downfield. Linton Stott connects it for the Eagles. Good chase though from Castleford. He's trapped in his own 20-metre zone.
Super kick from Graham Stedman there, but the chasers were well and truly on their way early. They look keen, Castleford.
Broadbent turns the ball back inside. Was clattered after it had gone by prop forward Martin Kettridge. Play on, says David Campbell. Here's Lee Jackson, the man in possession of the number 9 jersey for Great Britain at the moment. He's the one that they will have to dislodge if Ellery Hanley is to make a change. And that drive into the Castleford half of the field from the scrum half Darren Turner. There's Briggs. He will just drift one over the top and into the corner. And it's Chris Smith who collects it for Castleford once again.
Sheffield chasing very good there also. Nice kick from Briggs. Right into the corner. Both sides just testing each other. Defence is on top at the moment.
That's a lovely ball from Nick Allen. He's found the willing runner there in Tony Smith. Smith making good ground. Farrell, the man who brought him down. Touch of interference at the play of the ball, but Middleton doesn't stick around to argue the point. He gets on with it. Broadbent was in there quickly, so too was Jackson. This is Richard Russell, the hooker for Castleford. Good tackle from Farrell once again.
Had to be as well. The hooker was trying on the blind side, but it really was a great run from Tony Smith, but not the best tackle. That's play on.
It is, because it bounced off a Sheffield Eagles player, but the ball was hacked dead.
See the ball bounce off the second row, Ian Hughes. Kicked on by Tony Kemp, and that would have been a try. Nikau was really racing for the line. Getting back to that Sheffield defence, he was strong early, but David Maiko, that was a really bad mistake, missed tackle that allowed Tony Smith through.
And that was a mistake by Lee Jackson. Under pressure from Sampson, he dropped the ball.
Well, I'm not so sure that Richie Blackmore, a bit of a hand in there. There you see it. Looks quite clear to me. Not to the referee, David Campbell. Castleford lucky to get away with that. And one against the head. How unusual is that?
Well, isn't it just? This is Turner, the scrum half. The ball, as you saw, was fed on the Castleford side of that scrum, but the Eagles did really well in getting it back. And this is Farrell. Strong run from him. Really knocked Richard Russell off his feet. Briggs, short ball. This is Alex Thompson. Something of a local derby this. There are plenty of players in this Sheffield Eagles side with Castleford connections. There's one of them, Paul Broadbent.
Good run as well. He took it on the blind side. You could see that Castleford were going backwards rather than forward.
And Tawera Nicow getting really stuck into Paul Carr. It's the last tackle for Sheffield. Is Briggs, and an attempted drop goal from Briggs, and he's got it. And Sheffield Eagles have the lead. Carl Briggs, 1 point.
Good thinking by the standoff Briggs. Made sure that 1 point, better than nothing. It all came about from two very good strong rushes from their forwards. They didn't expect it, Castleford. They were perhaps thinking that the option would be the high ball, but good thinking there from Briggs.
His second one-pointer in a week. He got one at Workington last Sunday. So the Eagles have the lead. Good tactics too from Sheffield. They had all that possession in the Castleford half of the field and decided to come away with some reward. Jackson is the dummy half. It was a strong run that from Ian Hughes. And Farrell has made about 3 or 4 rather interesting inroads into the Castleford defence already this afternoon. Ball's clipped over the top. Oh, mistake from Chris Smith. Oh, and he knows he's made a big blunder there. And no pressure on him, really.
It's a beautiful kick from Briggs. Had all the time in the world, Chris Smith there, but made a real meal of it.
18-year-old and academy tourist to Australia this summer, a try in 5 appearances down under, Chris Smith. This is his 13th game for Castleford.
Bit of nerve showing there early in this match.
It's Sheffield who are on the charge here with Broadbent, 5 metres short of the line. Andy Hay, the man who moved in to close him down. There's Jackson, there's Briggs. Jackson taking it over again. Lovely move back, but they got the ball back neatly, did Castleford. Farrell's run towards the post, and it just spewed out from his grasp. Stedman picked up for Castleford.
Good set move, brought the ball back on the inside from Jackson. Not the best pass, Farrell couldn't keep hold of it. Stedman to the rescue. Interference at the play of the ball. Silly penalty to give away. Frustration coming through. David Maiko only missed 1 tackle early in the game.
Dean Sampson got the call to arms today just before the kick-off. Lee Crooks with a neck injury, having traction before the kick-off, but couldn't possibly play. So Sampson making his first appearance since last year's Premiership final. Nicow, or to Tony Kemp, but it was round his ankles, and Sodji made a right mess of that, knocked the ball forward, and Turner picked it up in front of the man.
Well, Turner was offside, that there's little doubt. The referee, David Campbell, giving the first knock on, which is from the Kiwi, Kemp. Not the best pass from Nicow, and in fact, Kemp thought perhaps that the ball wasn't going to come to him. He'd virtually stopped.
Not a bad little run from Mark Gamson. 300 appearances for the Eagles. The only man to reach that milestone in the club's 10-year history. Jackson gets the ball away to Ian Hughes.
Bit of problem, sorry Eddie, bit of problem in the Castleford defence. They really are just hanging back a little bit.
Middleton hacks that ball that went to ground. It was sloppy play from Sheffield Eagles. Middleton hacked the ball downfield, but the referee will bring it back for the original knock-on.
You could see that Middleton had gone for it, came off the hands. Referee Campbell allowing play on, no advantage to the Eagles. Scrum will go down.
Well, the Eagles certainly are competing. It's Carl Briggs, scorer of the drop goal. And this is the winger Linton Stott, formerly with the Woolston Amateur Club in Warrington. Talking of Woolston, we have a feature on Woolston Rovers in Boots and All this week on Tuesday. 4 scrums already, all of them going to Sheffield. And talking of Boots and All on Tuesday, an interview as well with Gary Hetherington, the coach here at Sheffield Eagles.
Well, a real mess there. It shouldn't have been popped out by Brad Hayes, the Sheffield full-back. The pass was never really on. It was a crunch tackle, to be fair.
Gareth Stevens fed the scrum, got the possession back, gave it to Kemp, who in turn gave it to Chris Smith. That could have been dangerous, couldn't it, those two? Maiko was there, so too was Gampson, captain for the day on this, his 300th appearance for the club. Don't forget Boots and All then, Tuesday at 7, those two features, Woolston and the interview with Gary Hetherington of Sheffield Eagles. Richard Russell gets the ball away neatly to Sampson. Sheffield just clinging on to that 1-point lead. Here's Gareth Stevens. And now Stedman, who will hoist a high kick and diagonal 2, looking for Blackmore, looking for Smales. The ball bounces and that's Blackmore's. But he's not given it. It's a knock-on is the decision.
Can't believe it, can the centre, Richie Blackmore. Pounced up for it was Smales that got in the way of Brad Hayes, who was all at sea there. The Kiwi centre deemed to have knocked on. Pretty difficult to see. You can see it go through his legs. Definitely got no downward pressure to it, but that man, Ian Smales, really did jump high. Made it confusing for Brad Hayes, the full-back.
Oh, that was a stiff challenge on Graham Stedman by second rower Paul Carr. Here's the Castleford second rower Ian Smales. Russell the dummy half, Kettridge now driving it in straight for Castleford, taking it into the danger zone. Russell again acting half. Now Sampson pops the ball back inside, it goes to ground again, another knock on. Been a feature of the opening minutes here, hasn't it, this knock on, all the knock-ons we've seen.
Trying to force the pass, Dean Sampson. He knew that Tony Smith likes to back up the support on the inside.
So don't forget all those big league highlights for you after this match here at Weldon Road this evening. Gareth Stevens, the man who's been bought to replace Mike Ford, feeds that scrum, finds Tony Kemp, steps around Briggs, but Briggs did well. He held on to the Kiwi's ankles, brought him down. Stevens, Nico on the charge, and Castleford in. The danger was only partially cleared, and Nicow wasn't going to be denied. Former Sheffield Eagles player, Tawera Nicow, first try.
This is a run from the scrum, the step from Kemp. Carl Briggs just got the ankles, but it's a quick play, the ball, it's from the scrum. You can see that Sheffield is slow to get out. Quick hands across, Gareth Stevens. Beautiful little pass, delayed it in time for Nicow to go over. Good thinking by Castleford. Beautiful pass from Stevens. See how he delayed it there, dragged in the defence, the gap was open. He loves nothing better. Tawera Nicow. Notice how Stevens drags in the man, left in no man's land, I'm afraid. The prop forward, Alex Thompson. Great try.
Yes, Tawera Nicow with the 4-pointer for Castleford, and now Martin Kettridge with the conversion attempt. Kettridge taking over the kicking responsibilities because Crooks is out of this match injured. He kicked 6 goals last week when Crooks left the field, and he's missed that one, and he looks disgusted, and so he might. 4-1.
See how Stevens just drags the prop forward, Alex Thompson towards him. The gap appears, Nicow, an easy 4 points.
So after falling behind, Gareth Stevens with the pass inside to Nicow, who accepted the 4 points gratefully. Now Julian Sampson again to run that ball away from the Castleford posts. This is the start of an important period for Castleford. Unbeaten so far. Sheffield Eagles here today. St Helens away next week. Wigan here on Sky on Friday week, and then Leeds at Headingley on Sky the following Friday. So a very, very important time of the season for Castleford begins today. I think, Steve, after that set of fixtures, they will just know how close they are to getting near to Wigan.
A testing time for them, but it's nice to get to the big guys as early as possible.
Stedman's kick chased into the corner by Stott. Back he comes. Good chase upfield, though, by the Castleford players. You might have heard the shout. It was go low as Brad Hayes moved out, and Simon Middleton did exactly that. He went low. That could have been a forward pass inside his own quarter by Carl Briggs to the prop forward Thompson, but David Campbell says play on. Here's Paul Broadbent.
That's a better run from the prop forward. Sheffield were caught twice there, just standing still rather than moving.
Paul Carr with a run, and a good run too. Turns it back inside. Patacake from Lee Jackson. Smales picks it up. Castleford will begin their counter-attack.
Try to get the ball back inside Paul Carr. It was a good run. That's play on. Good refereeing by Campbell.
Richard Russell.
Be interesting to see how Gareth Stevens settles into the halfback role here at Castleford. He likes to take on the defences.
Nickow on the halfway line. Russell, as we get past the 15-minute mark here at Weldon Road. It's with Stedman now. Surprisingly omitted from the Great Britain 25 to prepare for the Ashes. Stott, strong run. Good tackling by Castleford. Now here's Maiko. Briggs. Certainly brought a contingent of supporters with them, have Sheffield Eagles. And they brought a big bass drum by the sound of things too. But no one will be beating the drum about that drop ball by Alex Thompson.
Wasn't the best pass from the Great Britain hooker Lee Jackson. Just dipping down at the last moment. Should take them though. Half chances is what it's all about. You must snap them up.
Castleford, a mistake there by Stedman. He's a little unfortunate there because although he was moving in a forward direction, the ball went by Middleton rather. The ball went over his shoulder and appeared to go backwards.
He just overrun it. It was a planned move. Kemp trying to bring him around him. There you can see just fraction behind him. Missed opportunities early in the sixth. Coaches don't like that, especially John Joyner.
Nickow had to be alert then, and he brought down Darren Turner on halfway, and Nickow closing in on the figure of Lee Jackson. Turner was the dummy half. This is Farrell. They started brightly, Sheffield, but they've just faded a touch. Now then, can Broadbent do anything? He gets the ball away, risky business. They get away with it though. That's a good ball this time. Long raking pass from Briggs, and that was surely patted forward into the arms of Sodji. And the referee agrees.
Mark Gamson couldn't take control of that. Fingertips onto Sodji. There you see it. Had to reach well and truly forward, didn't he, Sodji, the winger? Well, a stop and start affair, I'm afraid, for both sides. Elementary mistakes creeping in.
Stevens gets it to Kemp, midway inside his own half of the field. Blackmore, certainly Castleford last season, one of the most exciting teams in the big league. Reorganising with the fact that Mike Ford, who is here today incidentally, and also Gareth Stevens has come back.
I think once both forwards have sorted themselves out, especially in the first 20 minutes, that's when we'll see the speed out wide. Both teams have got some spectacular players.
Sampson with the run. Gets Soji out of the way almost with a huge challenge on his chest. Stedman now has moved up to chime into the line.
Looked pretty high there from Gamson. Stedman didn't like it either.
Stevens bringing the ball back on this side. But not the best pass in the world from Stevens, the man who is replacing Mike Ford.
Just went in between the two of them. Take a while for both sides now to just get into the swing. They're just panicking. They're trying to force the pass at 100 miles an hour.
Eagles aiming to create a bit of history here at Weldon Road by getting their first ever win on this ground. They've lost on all 5 previous visits. Nick Out picking up the loose ball, thought he was on for another try.
It'll be a knock-on though from Nick Out. Got the fingertips to it. See on the replay there. It's off Nick Out's fingers. There should be a feed, and the head to Sheffield is his.
Briggs now for Sheffield. Watched by Kemp. Tackling from Tony Smith on Linton Stott. That's Alex Thompson with the drive upfield. Good tackling though from Castleford. Here's Paul Carr now. Met by the shoulder of Martin Kettridge. Broadbent. Back inside to his captain for the day, Gamson.
Pretty well telegraphed that though from Broadbent. You could see him turning before he hit the line.
High hanging kick from Briggs, well watched by Stedman, and a good run from the Castleford full-back also.
It's still class, isn't it? Graham Stedman may have missed out on the Ashes squad, but he took that ball perfectly. Calm, cool and collected.
Russell ducks underneath the challenge from Maiko. Can't get away from Farrell though. Middleton wants to get on with it quickly. Stevens. Forward pass surely to Nicow. Referee was way downfield. Didn't take a glance at his touch judge. Play on. Blackmore. That looked a touch forward too to Kemp. It's the last tackle here for Castleford. Nicow along the ground. Picked up by Carr for Sheffield.
Well, that could have been a penalty to the Eagles. The ball was ricocheted towards one of the Castleford players who was well and truly offside. But that's good defence.
Super tackle by Andy Hay. Well, Briggs trying to run the ball out. And Hay in quickly again too to snuff out that particular bit of danger. As Brad Hayes set off from dummy half. Here's Lee Jackson, the only man on this field to be named in the Great Britain squad, which is quite remarkable really when you consider Castleford's achievements last season and the way they've started this. As I say, no Mike Ford, no St. John Ellis. But they filled in well so far for those two having departed.
Pretty basic game plan from Sheffield, using the big forwards, one out, crashing through and opting for the kick.
Chris Smith. Thunderous challenge from Turner, helped out by Carr. And the second rower is really getting stuck in.
Super tackle from the little halfback, Turner. It's all legal. Right on the shoulder.
Kettridge now for Castleford. Stevens, Kemp and Nicow.
Rather surprised they're using Tawira and Nicow pretty tight to the play the ball situation. Nicow to me is always at his best when he plays right out wide in the centres.
Stedman. One bounce and an awkward bounce too for Brad Hayes. That bounced off the Australian's knee. But the important thing is it then allowed the Castleford players to close him down. Bright Soji. Wakefield Trinity last season. Hull Kingston Rovers is where he made his name with runs like this. But he's trying to play the ball and they're all over him then.
Oh, that's got to be a penalty.
Well, I would have thought so. And Sodji certainly believes so.
He can't believe it. The referee shouts here, play the ball. So he tries to. Well, total confusion there.
Well, no wonder he looked a bit aggrieved there, Bright Sodji. Here's Kemp. He has started. Tony Kemp in outstanding form. 5 tries. Just Castleford's half so far. Russell. Good run from Russell. Nearly past Farrell.
This is where the
away from David Maiko.
This is where the quick play of the ball is needed. Get it out wide.
Smales, though, electing to go down the middle. Not listening to the advice. Not reading the script. Stevens now. Gareth Stevens, only 20. Struggled to break into the lead setup, so has come here to Castleford to try and do that. To break into the big league.
Good play by the winger, Linton Stott. Read the little kick over from Stedman. Great to see youngsters these days reading the plan. Going back, getting into position quickly.
Broadbent. Interesting last season, Gary Hetherington was talking about Paul Broadbent as a possible Great Britain international for the future. There's another man who's not named in that Great Britain 25, but I'm sure that the Sheffield Eagles coach and Great Britain assistant boss has Broadbent in his thoughts for future use. Stedman collects the kick downfield. Good chase. Ian Hughes and Paul Carr, the 2 second rowers, moving in to close Stedman down. Chris Smith drops it. Was it stolen? No. Difficult rule for referees to interpret this.
Well, did he take it out or did he lose it? 50-50 hard for David Campbell. Goes against Chris Smith, the winger, Sheffield. Let's see what they can do. Put on a planned move at least. Picks himself up, bounced on the turf and got straight back up, trying to catch the Castleford defence wrong-footed. He is Farrell. Strong run again from Farrell, and Jackson couldn't hang on to it. Well, they've dropped the ball in a few rather interesting situations, Sheffield, and it's cost them dearly. Well, Farrell did the right thing, but Jackson couldn't hold it. There was no traffic there either. Unusual to see from Lee Jackson. Pretty good pair of hands. Little knock on by Richard Russell. Well, you can see they're pretty eager there. Paul Carr, the Australian, getting out in the dummy half position, putting pressure on. A little bit of niggling going on at the play of the ball also. Ball pops out of the scrum. And Darren Turner was clattered by his opposite number, Gareth Stevens. Looks at him as well, a little bit of a sideways glance from the Sheffield scrum half to his opposite number. Jackson is the dummy half. Well, this is the pass as he fell. Sheffield lucky to get away with that. Here's Briggs again. Now Broadbent. Nice stepping run from Hughes. Good defence again, though, from Castleford. Briggs dabs the ball forward. Carr's after it on! Almost won the race. Claims that he did, but the Castleford boot got in there first. Change the option. It's a beautiful little chip through from Briggs. And Stedman knew that Carr was on his way. Clearly, the second rower did not get fingertips to it. Stedman pumping the legs there. Oh, how close. Paul Carr, 3 tries already. The Australian signed from Hunslet in the summer of 1992. So close to the first Eagles try there that would have put them ahead again. Good thinking by Briggs as well. A little grubber kick through. Sheffield have found it pretty hard to get through the strong Castleford defence. quite happy to still use the forwards one out all the time.
Broadbent, and that's Hayes who's chimed up field, the full-back. Aaron Turner trying to duck under Kemp and Smales, couldn't do so. Jackson, Briggs again. Impressive player, this Carl Briggs. Now Carr again. They keep the movement going. Broadbent, Farrell. Soji rather, not Farrell. This is Briggs, long pass out wide to Stott. Dumped to the ground, ball comes free, it's play on.
Great tackle there from Simon Middleton. Look at that. Helped by the centre, Tony Smith, too. Great defence.
Sheffield's turn now to defend in the Castleford half of the field. Broadbent trying to work hard at the play of the ball. Smales with that drive upfield. Russell now dragging Castleford towards the halfway line.
Better run there from Richard Russell. Dummy half, scooting away. That'll catch the defence out. At least they're changing their options a little bit now, Castleford.
The kick from Stedman. Stott picks it up right in the corner. Good chase downfield too by Tony Smith. Castleford with that 100% record, Steve-O, but it must be said they're not as fluent as they were last season. Not this season so far anyway.
Well, the Tony Kemp-Gareth-Stevens combination hasn't really got working. And neither have they started to use Tawira Nico really out wide.
Briggs' pass to Broadbent was a bit too close.
Working the forwards again there. Broadbent just overrunning a little bit there, but the impact of the tackle.
Dean Sampson has been taken off for Castleford, and as you saw, he was replaced there by Nathan Sykes. This is the 15th scrum, by the way, that we're going to see now in the opening half hour, and there have been 17 handling errors shared out between the two sides. Stop-start for the opening half hour here. Somebody needs to inject a little bit of class, and it might be Graham Stedman.
Well, Sheffield, all the players were offside then. Maybe if the referee, David Campbell, brought them back a little bit more.
Smales, there's another error. Broadbent with the run for Sheffield. This has been the story of this match so far, Steve-O.
Took his eyes off the football there. Ian Smales won't be happy with it, but neither will the coaches either. I'm sure Gareth Hetherington and Sheffield, Castleford's John Joyner will have plenty to say at the half-time break.
That was well picked up by Linton Stott. That pass to him was off his ankles. That could have been the 19th handling error that we've seen. Thompson with that run. It's 4-1. Castleford ahead. Carr just couldn't keep hold of that. I don't really think the pass was meant for him anyway.
It wasn't. He was supposed to be a dummy runner. They really are at 6s and 7s. They've got to get them sorted out. Both sides are the same. And this is where surely Kemp and Stevens have got to start working.
Castleford coming into this match on the back of a 48-point haul at Hull, of all places, last week. That was forward from Russell to Kettridge. Play on, says David Campbell. Lee Jackson's appealing, and appealing also not only for that, but for the knock-on that comes in soon after that.
Kettridge trying to keep the ball away. Well, Castleford, to mine, they are playing the forward-style football that is synonymous with Lee Crooks, but he's not out there.
Maiko tackled. Stott at dummy half. Briggs trying to get away from Tony Smith. Throws the ball riskily back, and the prop forward. Thompson, good job he was there. Couldn't get away from those four, though. Castleford beginning this season after what really was perhaps the best campaign in the club's history. John Joyner, Coach of the Year, wonderful Regal Trophy win over Wigan. Remember, how could anyone forget that? 33 points to 2 that day. And then they were really only denied any other reward by Wigan, once in the Challenge Cup, once in the Premiership final that you saw on Sky at Old Trafford. It's the last tackle here for Sheffield, who finished last season, by the way, in their highest ever place of 6th. Good high kick again from Briggs. They're all after it. It bounces, and it's a good job that Stedman was there, and he drops it. Such was the pressure from Sodji and Gamson that Stedman couldn't hold on to this. But it's a good job, Steve-O, that Stedman was there.
It's a good job that Stedman actually came away. Didn't actually go to contest the high ball. Popped in. Little doubt in my mind that a Sheffield player knocked the ball away from Stedman. They've got away with it, though. Drop out from underneath the 6. I think both sides will be happy to get into the sheds at half-time. Sort a few things out.
Yes, they look as though they need a bit of direction from somewhere, don't they? Hayes ran straight through then. Russell, the man who got in first, and helped out then by Nathan Sykes and by the prop forward Kettridge. There's Tony Smith doing the tackling on Linton Stott. Here's Briggs, who has been impressive this first half. Certainly everything that has come from Sheffield has come from him, but there's another mistake from Hughes.
Not a mistake, the ball was reefed away. Spales' hand there, it's quite clear. I know we have the advantage of it, but it's happening too often.
Dear. That's a knock-on too. Stevens, how on earth he can complain about this, I don't know.
He went backwards, that's why he's complaining.
From the line, then Sheffield. They have a lifeline here. Can they possibly get themselves a try just before half-time? Farrell it was with the first drive. Jackson gets the ball out to Thompson. Thompson to Stott. Stott keeps the movement going to Jackson again. Good tackling on him by Tony Kemp. Farrell, dummy half. Briggs. Can he unlock this Castleford defence? Carr with the strong run. He loses it. As play on.
Well, once again, they played the ball there. There's nearly every Sheffield player in front of the referee. Reefed out again. Appealed to him.
Kemp to Nickow. Kemp struggling to get to his feet. Turner not allowing him to. The bargy and... well, tempers are beginning to get a little frayed with what's gone on in this first half.
Well, all the players are frustrated.
Last one here for Castleford, Kettridge. Hits the ball long downfield. It's going to be too long, that.
Far too long. And they know it. The Chasers gave up a long time ago on that one. Niggling tactics by Sheffield at the play of the ball are confusing Castleford. That's where I feel that they've got to just slow things down and get back into the rhythm. They're being sucked into panic football.
Farrell now. Over the halfway. Some good driving runs from Farrell first half. Middleton's after him. Great tackle from Middleton. Is that the spark that needs to ignite this match? Briggs. The second row is Hughes. Tries to get round Russell and round Sykes. And Sykes is lying all over him. Good strong run from Maiko again. Held up. Jackson. Briggs. Dabs it over the top. It's inventive play. And well done to Stedman, who read the script. Diffused the bomb.
Nice little tip over from Briggs. But There's 2 experiences, Graham Steadman.
They took a quick tap on their own 20-metre mark at Castleford and immediately got this attack going, courtesy of Kemp. Here's Middleton again. Sochi had followed him over that side of the field. Sykes just hangs on. Now Nick out, short ball. Hay, strength from Hay.
That's better football. Neat pass from Nick out.
Here's Smales, 10 metres short of the line. Stevens, long ball. Kemp gets the ball away, and Blackmore for the try. Richie Blackmore, his second try of the season.
Beautiful play by Nick Howe. Run from the dummy half, but a cross-angle run from Ian Smales. And this is probably the first time that they've thrown out 2 links. But Kemp, the strength showing there, squeezing the ball out. Beautiful support play by Richie Blackmore. That really has been the first time that Castleford have been inventive. Good run from Smales. He read the script right. But these 2 link passes, been shouting for it all day. It's the first time Kemp and Stevens have combined, and look what they came up with. Another try.
Richie Blackmore, the New Zealand international, taking the pass from another New Zealand Test star, Tony Kemp, and Martin Kettridge, longest serving player in this Castleford side, signed in 1983 with this conversion attempt. That's much better from Kettridge. Excellent kick. Castleford ahead by 10 points to 1.
You can see that Sheffield defence is still going backwards when it's a quick play of the ball. They take it to the blind side, but this is the key run from Smales. See how the Sheffield defence expected it to go to the blind. They were hanging flat. They paid the price of going 2-on-1. Blackmore finished off superbly.
Richie Blackmore's try then, 10-1. Castleford will breathe a little easier as they go into the half-time break now with that 9-point advantage. It's a good run from Smith and a good chase by Jackson. There is the half-time siren. Well, Briggs has been pretty influential for Eagles, but despite the drop goal from him, nothing much he could do. Nick Howe with the first try, and it really was a Kiwi double act, wasn't it? When right on the stroke of half-time, Tony Kemp linked in with another New Zealander, Richie Blackmore, to produce the second Castleford try, who lead by 9 points at the break. Second half then of this Stonesborough Championship match at Weldon Road. Castleford ahead by 10 points to 1. And Sheffield Eagles have made a couple of changes right at the start of this second 40 minutes. And perhaps significant changes too, as Anthony Farrell runs this ball and tries to get it out of the danger zone. Carl Briggs and Alex Thompson have gone off, and look who's come on. Darryl Powell and John Glancy. So Powell it will be who will be taking the standoff role. Having said that, I thought that Carl Briggs, and there is Powell with his first touch in the big league this season after Achilles operations on both ankles. I thought Carl Briggs, Steve-O, had a reasonable enough first half.
Confusing me also, Eddie. Perhaps Briggs was injured. We'll have to wait and see later on as the game goes on. The big gamble. I'm sure Gary Hetherington realises that they're a little bit out of sorts, and to bring on a man with the class, the experience of Darryl Powell may just do the trick.
That was a good chase by John Glancy. His first appearance for this club for 6 years. He went off to Wakefield after making 97 appearances for them in 3 years, John Glancy.
Well, not the best start by the substitute Glancy there. At this play of the ball, he thinks about coming back, then has a go with his arm when it was well and truly offside.
Well, we've had a lot of handling errors and scrums in this match, but that, would you believe, is only the second penalty of this match. Kettridge over the halfway line for Castleford. Russell, and now to Nikau. Castleford deciding, by the way, to stick with the lineup they had at the end of that first half. They're edging nearer the Sheffield posts with that run by Kettridge, who turns the ball back to Stevens. Stevens tried to fool the two Sheffield tacklers, Powell and also Maiko. And this is Andy Hay with the run.
Good play as well by the second row, and he saw that it was a bit blind on the... They were a bit light on the blind side, but it was on the last tackle. Perhaps not the option that Castleford coach John Joyner would have wanted.
Broadbent trying to take it up for the Eagles. And this is Ian Hughes for Sheffield. Their 11th season in the Rugby League, Sheffield Eagles. Broadbent to Carr. Gets the ball back and away. That's a good play. And a great little run from Mark Gampson. Suddenly the Eagles supporters begin to find their voice. They're pretty quiet. First half, the referee, I think, has awarded Castleford a penalty and pointed to his mouth.
A few words said by the big prop forward, Paul Broadbent. He perhaps thought that Gareth Stevens was a little bit too high. When he passed the ball, he said play on, but he said a few words to Campbell.
It's Smales with that run. This is Kettridge. Now Tony Kemp. Anyone could illuminate this game, he most certainly can. Stevens, Nikau. What a quality on show for Castleford today.
I'm still surprised that Castleford are persevering with Tawira Nikau playing tight. He's normally outside the centres, not inside.
Sheffield defence moving up quickly. Farrell, it is, doing the tackle on Steadman. He didn't particularly like the roughhouse treatment he received. Kemp, though, will drop one over the top. And that's well taken by Hayes. High kick behind his own try line. Diffuses the kick. It's a tap on the 20-metre mark.
Good position there by Hayes. Read it well.
Darryl Powell. He and John Glancy, by the way, played half a reserve team game on Friday. Convinced Gary Hetherington they were fit enough to return to the big league, and here they both are. That's Glancy. Now Ian Hughes. Powell, such an important member of this Sheffield Eagles setup. He loses the ball though.
Good tackle from Ian Smales. Smales low. Blackmore over the top, lost it.
Scrum goes down on the halfway line. Kemp. Good diagonal run that was from Chris Smith. For the handling errors, they really are creeping up to alarming proportions. No handling errors here though from Hay. Gets the ball away to Smith. That's a great tackle from Jackson. Steadman is the dummy half, and he's going on his own, Steadman. Now he looks for support, but Castleford have got the penalty for offside against Sheffield.
Made no attempt to go back from the play of the ball. There you can see them. They've got to go the 10 before they can come back going forward. Referee not allowing play on. Jackson not happy with it. Powell not too impressed either. But it was a great tackle from Jackson, but what a beautiful little pass from Nikau. Delayed pass back on the inside. see that pass there, it was beautiful. Well supported by the big second rower, Andy Hay. But that was a great tackle from Jackson, it had to be.
And so Kettridge again will try and take the 2 points for the penalty. Not a problem. Martin Kettridge, he's a very useful kicker to have in reserve, isn't he? If Philippe Brooks is not playing. Clip that one over the top of the crossbar. 12-1 then, Castleford are ahead. Castleford this season averaging 34 points a game, won 48-18 at Hull last week. 12-1 now, start of the second half. Sheffield really need to do something, and quickly too, to get themselves back in this match.
Oh, it's got to be a penalty.
A very dangerous incident indeed.
We can do without that. The man was stopped and they just tried to tip him over, drive him down. Now that's stupid play.
He's gone to his back pocket and he's off. It's Mark Gamson who has been shown the red card for the spear tackle, and Gamson, on his 300th appearance for this club, captain for the day, mars his big occasion and does nothing to help the Sheffield cause. But David Campbell, absolutely right, that really was a dangerous tackle. Smales was being driven into the ground head first. It could have had really serious repercussions.
There's no need for it. The man was already tackled. There was no forward progress.
So Sheffield down to 12 men. Castleford in possession with Nick out. Russell to Hay. Thought about slipping the pass to Middleton. Thought better of it. Stevens to Kemp. Sykes is there. Smales is there. They didn't take the bait, the two Sheffield tacklers, Jackson and Carr. Stevens, Nick out. Good run from Smith. Middleton hacks it forward. Has he got the pace? No, he hasn't.
Enterprising play from Castleford. Sheffield down to 12 men. That's when you start getting the ball out wide. Trying to get the advantage, the overlap. It should be forthcoming as well. Surely this is where Castleford will start pushing Nikau out wider now.
Carr with the run for the 12 men of the Eagles. Jackson supporting. Turner was there as well. Jackson at dummy half. Just outside the Castleford quarter. Darren Powell straightening it up. Sheffield then trying to come back from that sending off incident a few moments ago. Turner, second time by the way already this season, and the season for them only 4 matches old. They've had a man sent off. Broadbent, last tackle. They're close to that Castleford line, as close as they've been all day. Powell dabs it through, and Stedman read it well. For the second time today.
Nice play, set move there. Brad Hayes coming on the inside. Stedman just had to get it. Powell knew exactly where the fullback Brad Hayes was going to go. Nearly got away with it.
Plenty of length on the dropout, and it's now with Hayes. And he has stopped. Dances away from the challengers. But as so often happens, a team gets reduced by a player being sent off, and suddenly they get a bit of vim and vigour from somewhere.
Well, they realise they've all got to work a little bit harder, step up the pace. And for once, Sheffield now looking to get the ball out wide. They've been just using the strong forwards for most of their play. Obviously the game plan. This is a time to change it when you're 12-1 adrift.
Turner to Powell. Harold Powell, 25 caps for his country. 29-year-old. Picks himself up. Hayes was the dummy half. High kick from the centre, Maiko, who gets it back. Still on the last tackle here. Ball dabbed forward, Steadman picks it up. Gets away from Carr. Can't get away from Soji. Good chase by the Sheffield winger. Blackmore now. Did Farrell get a hand to that and pulled the ball away? He did.
Blackmore stepping on the inside. Farrell's right hand. Snatching at the football. Penalty had to be given.
Down the years, Sheffield Eagles have beaten Castleford just once. In 8 matches, it's 7 Castleford wins, 1 for Sheffield. It was in October 1982, by the way, at Don Valley, by 20 points to 16. Hay with this run. Penalties, 6 in the match, and they've all gone Castleford's way. Steadman drifts one over the top. Stock picks it up. Well, he almost picked it up. He was almost made to pay. Must have heard the thundering hooves of Middleton right behind him.
Super kick from Steadman, wasn't it? Made a real meal of it, did Linton Stott. Finally got away with the kick. It's this sort of thing that just eats away at your confidence. Under a lot of pressure.
Drop out underneath the Sheffield post, not much length on it. Nicow runs it back. Russell, still going Russell. Jackson behind him. Steadman arriving. Simple. If you support the man with the ball, it's as easy as that. Graham Steadman's try. 3rd of the season.
Scampering run from Richard Russell. Wasn't the best play of the ball, it came out, but they went far too high. Russell saying, come on, where's the support? Took a long time, but Steadman read it well. Ripped to shreds. Nicow with a strong run. From this quick play of the ball, you'll see the ball just go off to the one side. Not the best play of the ball, came off Paul Carr. But look at that, they went far too high. Russell says, come on, come on. He came. Steadman gets 4.
Graham Steadman then recalled for Great Britain against France in March, but no place in the 25-man squad that's preparing for the Ashes. And Martin Kettridge, 2 from 3 this afternoon. This is on the wrong side of the field for him as a right-footed kicker. And it's the second one he's missed from the right-hand side of the field. 16 points to 1 then. Castleford with this 100% record that they're defending.
This has been another problem of this game. You see the referee there, and they're all offside. The ball's being played. But good thinking by Russell. Shows the strength there. Second effort. Nice little pass. Good support play.
Yes, the referee, Steve-o, throughout this game has been standing back the 10 metres, but every time the ball's played, or just about, both sides have been creeping forward. It has not helped the match to get any sort of flow about it.
We haven't had one penalty for offside at the play of the ball.
Nathan Sykes has been replaced by Dean Sampson, the man he in turn replaced in the first half. So Sampson back on. Kettridge, as Castleford now really try and turn the screw, but they won't with passing like that. Darryl Powell flings the ball away in disgust at the decision by the referee.
Well, Kettridge tried to keep the ball alive, and when you're leading 16-1, you can take the gamble. Knock on by the substitute, Darryl Powell.
It was a clear knock on. Why did Darryl Powell show that little fit of pique?
Frustration. In one of those games, a lot of niggling.
As I say, it's not exactly what you would call a local derby, but there are plenty of Castleford boys in this Sheffield side. Powell is one of them from the Red Hill Amateur Club in this town. And Gary Hetherington, of course. lives in Pontefract, which isn't too far away from here. So it has all the needle and all the feel of a local derby, this, despite the fact it's Castleford and Sheffield. And there's a huge collision between Nichow and Powell. Sheffield had it back briefly.
Geez, he just took receiving that and Powell came at him. And I'm surprised that Nichow just popped up as though a flyer hit him, that's all. Tough guy.
Sheffield then in possession with Jackson, now in the Castleford half. Kettridge and Stevens will bring down the Great Britain Test hooker.
This is where Powell will try to inject something into it. He's got to try to control things.
It was Powell with that run, halted by Dean Sampson. Jackson, the dummy half. Club record by Lee Jackson. Stott gets the ball out to the second rower, Hughes. It's a good run from Hughes. Twisting and turning down that wing. Blackmore, the man who eventually brought him to ground. Carr dabs it forward, but straight into the arms of the Castleford player, Andy Hay. Oh, and Simon Middleton makes a porridge of that.
Too quick, too fast. Hurry it along. There's no need to panic. You're in your own quarter. It's where professionalism really comes into it. And at 16-1 in the lead, no need for it.
So can Sheffield make them pay? That was Powell's ball to Maiko. Maiko keeps the movement going to Darren Turner. 10 metres short of the Castleford posts. Nichow interfering with Turner as he tried to get to his feet. Powell gets the ball away. Maiko again. Strong defence though from Castleford. That's how close the Eagles are. Jackson to Powell. Powell to Carr.
If anybody's going to break down this Castleford defence, it's the two second rowers, Hughes and Carr.
Jackson to Farrell. Farrell keeps it going. There's his Hughes. Tried to spin in the tackle, but he was just a metre or two away from the line. Ball went backwards, says the referee. Play on. It went backwards again. That's the second mistake by Broadbent. Sodji has it for Sheffield. Nowhere for him to go. It was too tight down the touchline for a run. Last tackle here for Sheffield. Jackson dabs it forward, bounces off the legs of Kettridge, and, well, Kettridge, it looked to me like he had knocked that ball on here.
Came off his knee.
No, this one here. Watch. Now then. Silence is golden.
Losing his cool. Lee Jackson not happy with it. Pretty high in my book. Debbie Campbell having a few words to say to the Great Britain hooker Lee Jackson.
Could be getting just a little frustrated, Steve-O, by the penalty count that's against him. 7-0 it is. And we're now midway through this second half. Sampson trying to struggle to his feet. Andy Hay.
You could see clearly there Sheffield are not getting on. So both sides are getting away with it.
Oh, good run this from Kettridge. He's got Kemp inside him, and the pass wasn't good. And if it had been, that would have been 6 points, because Kemp would have been over under the sticks.
Just panic, isn't it? There's no need to get the ball away. Quick play of the ball. It made the break. Defence is shattered. Tony Kemp thought he was in for another try.
Jackson, the dummy half to Stott. Oh, the tackling from Castleford at the moment just a little weak.
Good run though from Stott. It's a tricky customer, but they were going too high.
Powell. Darryl Powell, lovely ball to Broadbent, who will race. No! Darryl Powell has come on and has come up with the goods for Sheffield. Broadbent with the try. Good support from him. Another of the men who came to Sheffield from the Castleford area. No wonder he's delighted with that.
Nice play from the substitute Darryl Powell. Jackson it was that brought him back on the inside. You could see it pulled in Gareth Stevens. And a beautiful little inside pass there to the big prop forward Broadbent, who has the pace. Nothing was going to stop him, but it all came about from that Castleford error when they really didn't need to push the pass. Jackson back on the inside. Look at Powell there. Castleford had failed to move up on the blind side, and look at the prop forward go. Sheffield, 12 men are well and truly back in this game.
Yes, the 12 men of Sheffield, actually when that try went in, they were down to 11 because Maiko was on his way to the blood bin. He was having treatment in back play. So for a moment, Sheffield were down to 11 men, and they scored the try. Broadbent the 4, can Farrell make it 6? No, he can't. Least said, soonest mended about that kick. 16-5 to Castleford.
You're watching Sky Sports. In October, we give you Gibson.
That's a good chase from Sampson. Here's Farrell, who missed with that conversion attempt. And just thinking about that, actually, Maiko, the man who's in the bin, he would normally have taken the blood bin, that is. He would normally have taken the conversion attempt for Sheffield. Now then, Jackson. Turner was there too. Jackson does well and stopped. He dropped that. It was a knock-on, but because Castleford have it back, the referee says we'll play on from there.
Jackson can't believe it, but it wasn't the best pass. Forcing it again, made the error.
Tony Smith. Turner clutching at it, and Tony Smith panicking to try and get the ball out wide. You'd think it was Castleford who were chasing this match.
Incredible, isn't it? One of the major reasons why I never wanted to become a coach. I lost my hair a long time ago, but this doesn't help, does it? John Joyner must be going grey. A 16-1 lead, whittled down to 16-5, and Castleford are still panicking. And as you mentioned, Eddie, all they're trying to do is chase, chase, chase when they don't need to.
Off goes Martin Kettridge, and back on comes Nathan Sykes for Castleford. So I'm just looking down the list for Castleford as well. They now are playing on without a recognised goal kicker, but here goes Carr. Ball inside to Hayes. It was just too high for the Sheffield fullback. Castleford get it back. Middleton. Soji's after him. Good tackle.
Great run from Paul Carr there, right on the touchline.
And Soji again, working hard. Sykes. Sampson. Surrounded, but he has the strength to make just a few more metres up to the halfway line. Stevens to Kemp to Nickau. Nickau looking inside him. Blackmore was steaming up on the outside. Russell to Stedman. Another kick coming here. Aiming it for the corner. Oh, and again Linton stopped. Well, I cannot believe this. That surely was a knock-on. Or am I blind?
Campbell said it went backwards. He's probably right. You can see him waving play on.
But Steve-O, he was facing the Castleford posts.
He's got the whistle, you ain't.
Broadbent. Sheffield have got out of jail with that for me. Farrell, no, it wasn't forward. Great screams from the terraces that it was a forward pass, but that was legal.
I bet Anthony Farrell wished it was. Jeez, what a reception committee that was.
Briggs to Powell. Powell inside again. Good break here from Sheffield. This is Hughes out there to the far side to Hayes. He's still not brought down. Briggs. Powell again. Dabs the ball forward. And no danger. And Middleton is quite content to let that ball just run dead.
Really has injected a lot of different options, hasn't he, for the Sheffield Eagles. Daryl Powell. Nice little chip through there. Just a little bit too long. But Castleford, they cannot rest easy. Plenty of time for Sheffield to snatch this game. And a few gaps that appear in this Castleford defence.
Say one man doesn't make a team, but Darryl Powell has certainly made a difference since he has come on at half-time.
We can also say that Castleford have definitely missed one man also. Lee Crooks. That's the reason why this man with the football, I believe, has had to turn into a ball distributor rather than a runner where he's become world-class.
Sochi on the intercept. He's got some pace, this fellow, but so has Stedman. Oh, he turns him inside out, lovely. Gets the ball away to Carl. He didn't knock it on first time, but he did second. Carr knows that Sheffield Eagles have blown 4 points out of the water here.
Great play there. Bright Sochi. He read it superbly. Didn't try to put on the gas. He'd beaten him. There really was no panic there. A quick play of the ball. Castleford were all at sea. And as you mentioned, Eddie, another has gone begging.
I thought Sochi had a little bit more pace than that, I must confess. Thought he was going to hair down the wing to the corner. But once he stepped inside Stedman, Ian Smales did very well. Nathan Sykes, that's better for Castleford. Turner, meanwhile, has gone off, and Maiko has returned from the blood bin. Lovely ball over the top from Kemp to Tony Smith. Russell, the dummy half. Kemp again. Blackmore trying for the quick hands, gets it away in the end to Stedman, who sees a gap and goes for it. Great play, Stedman. Great try. Stedman's second of the afternoon, his fourth of the season, and he gets closer to the magic 100 mark for Castleford.
Speed off the mark, superb. He sees the gap. Look at that. The defence just held off. Uses two players who are on the ground. The swerve under to the post. Great play. Red on the blind side, Kemp. Out wide. Good play there by Blackmore. Kept it alive. But this man, when he sees half the gap, puts on the gas. Whoa, that's fuel. And that's 4 more.
Yes, good try from Graham Stedman. Trying 2 of the opening 3 before today. And Stedman will now attempt to make his 4 into 6. He's catching the breath after the run. Left-footed. That's how to convert them. 22 points to 5.
There you see how Stedman uses his own 2 players who are in front there, arrowed. There's a huge gap. I'm going straight through. Campbell says, get out of the way. Campbell points before he puts the ball down. Beautiful try. Still got it. Plenty of class. Graham Stedman.
So Sheffield having to come again from a long way behind, and they could so easily have been really in the hunt here had Sochi, who completed that tackle there on Ian Smales, not been caught by Smales just a few moments before the Stedman try.
Well, Smales did the right thing. He knew that they were in control. He'd made the break. There was no chance he was going to pass that. Safety first, and rightly so.
Stevens dinked that one over the top and then caught one for his pains.
Well, it was grabbed after, wasn't it? But the man doesn't have to move out of the way. And he didn't.
Jackson, the dummy half to Broadbent, back to Jackson, and then to Briggs, and then to Powell. This fellow's been impressive, Ian Hughes. Good run from Hughes. He might have the pace of Stedman. He has! What a great try from the second rower. Former under-21 international Ian Hughes. A terrific try from a second rower. It could so easily have been one of the quarters scoring that. Great pace.
Great play. They kept the ball alive, and for the second row and out wide, didn't he show a lot of pace? It was a beautiful inside pass from Powell. He read it well. Ian Hughes. Stedman too late to come across. Great try. Notice the pass back on the inside was Broadbent to Jackson. But look at the inside slip here. He knew exactly where to go. In and out the swerve. No hesitation. Eye on the try line. Bang. I'm going. Stedman too late. He's had a fine game, Ian Hughes. Also his other second partner, Paul Carr.
Maiko have returned from the blood bin and just misses with the conversion attempt. 22 points to 9 now for Castleford.
There you can see how the ball keeps on the inside. Comes through. It's a lovely inside pass from Powell. Just that little bit of finesse that was needed. They looked all at sea, the Eagles, in the first half, but Powell and this guy have injected a lot.
Yes, Ian Hughes scored a try actually on his under-21 international debut against the French in 1983. Castleford making another change. Richard Goddard comes on, and Dean Sampson, who's been on and off this field today, goes off yet again. And the referee rightly has called time off there, because Castleford really were trudging to the halfway line to restart this match. 5 minutes to go. Perhaps it's beyond Sheffield, but they will give it a go right up to the full-time siren. Hughes has been impressive. Briggs was impressive first half, but what a change to Eagles. And I suppose Gary Hetherington will be wondering what might have been had Darryl Powell been on from the start. Here's Jackson. Coming up then to 4 minutes to go. Castleford look like maintaining that 100% record, but Powell has got other ideas. Another great run from Powell. Linton Stott, under challenge from Stedman, hits the turn. Jackson wants to get on with it quickly. Referee David Campbell had a good look at that one. Thought it was going to blow for a forward pass, but well taken there. Chris Smith took it well, under a lot of pressure from Hayes. Blackmore running from deep. He did this so often last season. Support arrives. Not a problem here. Chris Smith is home and hosed. Blackmore created so many tries for St John Ellis last season, and he certainly created that one for Chris Smith, the man in the number 2 jersey that belonged to Ellis this time last year. And remember, it was Chris Smith that took that kick. He had to get off the ground, but he was there. Look at him screaming into the picture. Superb time pass from Richie Blackmore. And the winger Smith in for a wonderful try. Great stuff. You can see Smith has just got off the floor, but gets into full scream, pumping the legs, got plenty of pace, and seals this Castleford win. Yes, victory it will surely be now. Chris Smith, the academy tourist to Australia this summer. Stedman from bang in front just easily clips it over the top. 28 points to 9. It's all about second effort, support there. Smith, you can see, he's just played the ball. He'll scream the way through. He knows that there's a chance. Off he goes. Look how he positions himself right. That's good thinking. Yes, great try from Castleford. Here's Goddard now for them. Well, a disjointed performance in many ways from Castleford, but the important thing as far as they're concerned, Steve-O, is that that record stays intact for what is to come. Wigan here in a couple of weeks' time, St Helens next Sunday, and then Leeds. If they get through that and they are still 100%, we'll all sit up and take notice. They still need a lot of polish, though. They have certainly missed Lee Crooks, the guiding light, especially with their forward play.
They've had to diffuse the skills out wide of Tawira Nikau because he's gone into more of a providing role rather than a finisher.
And don't forget, of course, coming up after full time here, the big league highlights with all the tries scored in Division 1 today. Meanwhile, the Eagles will, for the last minute of this match, keep things going. Remember, down to 12 men. They have been for much of this second half. Gamson sent off. Here's Hughes. Impressive again from Hughes. The tackle isn't completed. He was almost home. That's the last one. So close. Ian Hughes to his second. Long pass out wide to Hayes. Barrett could not keep hold of that. So it's play on because that was on the last tackle anyway. Russell disappears under the challenge from Farrell and Powell.
He's worked hard as the hooker, Richard Russell. Nice runs from the dummy half position. It's been a good duel between Russell and Jackson today.
We enter stoppage time with this win for Castleford assured, 28 points to 9. Smales, tackled by Jackson and by Glancy, was the last in this set of 6. Here's Stedman, who just pump it downfield. Hayes is underneath it, wheels it in. Good chase from Nick out. Enthusiastic to the end, the Kiwi loose forward. He's there again, Nick out. Tackling Linton Stott and giving him a bit of facial as he gets to his feet. Carl Briggs. Here's Darryl Powell, and Farrell overran the pass. Stevens called Middleton on his inside. Stedman is with him, so too is Tony Smith. And Smith, good job that Stott was there, worked hard on this wing. Kemp bounces off 2, round the corner to Nikau, through the legs. Goddard knocked it on, just a little one.
Keeping the ball alive, Nikau tried the inside roll pass off the floor, but Goddard, the substitute, just couldn't pick it up neatly.
Sheffield then now just running the clock down. Almost 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Broadbent worked hard. Sodji so close to a try. Glancy with that run. Here's Farrell, ball back inside to Broadbent. Back to Glancy, off the hand of Hughes to Powell. This is Maiko. Last tackle here for Sheffield.
Good defence there from Nikau. You could see him holding the ball, no chance of him getting it away.
Bravery there from Stevens. There's the full-time siren, it's all over. Players shake hands all round. Graham Stedman, 2 tries, 2 goals for the man overlooked by Great Britain this week, but he has had a good afternoon's work, and Darryl Powell certainly altered the shape of this match from a Sheffield Eagles point of view when he came on. Gary Hetherington will be pleased that he is back for the rest of this season, injury permitting. But it's Chris Smith's try that we go out on, 28-9 here at Weldon Road. Castleford's win then here at Weldon Road by 28 points to 9, and quite a day for Graham Stedman. 2 tries and a couple of goals. It comes at the end of a disappointing week, which saw him overlooked by the Great Britain selectors. Graham, omitted by Great Britain this week, 2 tries, 2 goals. You've nudged a few memories, perhaps.
Yeah, I was very disappointed not to be a part of the squad, but Hiller's made his decisions and his choice on the squad, and all I can say is I wish the lads the best of luck against the Australians.
But you won't have given up hope that you will be called in for the series, I'm sure, and not with displays like that.
Oh, certainly not. I'll give 110% week in and week out for Castleford, and if that's good enough for Castleford, hopefully the Great Britain setup will take recognition of that. Now,
from a Castleford point of view, you're 100%, but on today's showing, you're not really in the gear that you were last season yet.
No, young Gareth's got a few games to settle in just yet, but given time, I think we're clicking. If you're playing badly and winning games, it's a good thing. We're up there with the best of them. We've 4 wins from 4 games, so it's an 100% start, and we've got a tough one next week. We've got to get it right, and we can't afford to lose the amount of possession we did today. It was shocking.
Well, you say you've got a tough one next week. You've got a tough run in now for the rest of September. Wigan, Leeds and Saints next Sunday.
Yeah, we certainly don't need reminding. We wanted to get things right today, especially in a good home performance. But back to the drawing board Tuesday night with John, and I'm sure he's got 1 or 2 harsh words to say.
Darryl, welcome back to the big league. I rather fancy Gary Hetherington would have liked you out from the start, because you certainly made 1 or 2 things happen.
Yeah, I just went forward when I came on. The lads started running off me a little bit, and just a bit of variety to us play. I think that's what we've been lacking.
But you must be well pleased to be back in after Achilles operations to both legs.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. It's been 6 weeks, and I think I've got back a little sooner than the specialist expected. So I'm very pleased to be back. Hopefully I can come out from the start next week and improve on my fitness a little bit, I think.
Well, they say, and we said it in commentary, one man doesn't make a team, but you make a difference to this team.
Yeah, I think I've been playing the game a long time, and I've got a bit slower and a bit wiser. So I think it helps, you know, when you've got a bit of experience under your belt, and the lads just need a little bit of guidance now and again. There's a lot of young kids in there, and you know, I just try my best to help them along.
I'm sure from a personal point of view, you'll be delighted to be back with the Ashes series in mind, and you'll be reminding Gary that you're still on the scene.
Yeah, I'm a little bit closer to home now with Gary in the setup, but I just need to play well week in, week out, and I'm sure that if people are playing well consistently, then they'll get a chance of playing against the Aussies.
John, not the fluency that we came to expect from you last season, but 4 out of 4 and still 100%.
That's about all I can say. Very disappointed with the display today. Apart from a few individuals, we never competed at all, hardly.
But the thing is, with what you've got to come, St Helens, Wigan and Leeds, I suppose, to go into that sequence of matches unbeaten is as good as you could have wished for.
It's as good as I could wish for, yeah, but I'd want to be going into them matches playing a lot better than we played today. You know, it's an hard month for us this month, and if we're going to be contenders and not pretenders, we've got to go out and play better football than we have done today.
Where is it going wrong? Is it the fact that you've got the new half-back combination that needs time to bed in?
I don't think so, no. I think it all boils down to us forwards. You know, you take Tuara Nico out, you take Lee Crooks out. The other people have got to take some responsibility on the shoulders.
Well, there was no Lee Crooks today, and that was a late blow for you, I know.
Yeah, it's a fact of life. You're not going to play with your best players all the time. Players that you come in, you expect them to be able to do the job. If I didn't think they could do the job, they won't be here. They've just got to, I think they've got to have a good look in the mirror at themselves and get stuck in for this next few weeks.
The thing is, expectation here at Weldon Road now is so high after all you achieved last season, isn't it?
That's right, yeah, we set a good base last season. We had a fairly good season. We must build on that. You know, and if there's players here who don't want to do that, if they're happy with what we did last year, then we'll get shut of them and get some more in.
Not a happy man, is he? The statistics from this match don't hide the fact that scrappy is the best adjective you can use to describe it. Team tackling, 152 each. Scrums, there were 24 of them. 7 penalties to Castleford. Sheffield didn't have 1. And look at the handling error count. 16 errors by Cass, 20 by Sheffield. So the statistics from a very scrappy match here at Weldon Road, but from Castleford's point of view, it's 4 wins out of 4 matches. They have 8 points. They maintained their 100% start to the season. Bearing in mind what's to come throughout the rest of the month of September, that should really give John Joyner a bit of hope. It's St Helens on Sunday, then they have Wigan here, and finally they end with Leeds. A big programme coming up for Castleford then. But as far as you are concerned, Steve-O, should John Joyner be a bit more happy, the fact that he's still 100%?
Well, he'd be happy with the 2 points, but quite frankly, he knows that they did not play up to their form. They did not play as a team, and in fact, if it wasn't for individual brilliance like the fullback Stedman, I'm afraid they would have been in a lot of trouble. I didn't think the referee helped matters, though. I thought they were offside the entire game, and that led to it being a very scrappy affair indeed.
John Joyner has warned his players, hasn't he, that if they don't improve, well, he'll look for some who will improve this side.
Well, I think every coach has to, but I think that they missed Lee Crooks this afternoon. It was quite evident that Tawira Nikau was trying to be a provider rather than a runner that we've seen out wide. Once they get Crooks back on song, with Nikau running out wide, then they will be competitors for this championship.
Contenders or pretenders, that's what we will see before the end of the month, according to John Joyner. Right, it's time for us now then to round up all the rest of the highlights from the big league, all the action in the First Division played today.
Seize the day.
Bradford Northern moved powerfully back to the top of the table, recovering from a bit of a false start at Odsal. An early lapse, allowing Widnes to take the lead. Adrian Hadley pouncing on a loose ball after Dave Watson had fumbled. Northern soon recovered their composure, and from then on it really was all one-way traffic, with Neil Summers showing his colleagues the route to the try-line. Paul Dixon's neat turn and dummy opened up the Widnes defence to let Derek Fox through for Bradford's second try. Neil Summers had an outstanding game for Bradford. It was his run, and then the power of Paul Newlove that set up a try for David Myers on what was to turn out to be a great afternoon for him against his old club. Fox converted to make it 18-4, and Widnes wilted as Summers took Dave Heron's pass at full tilt and just beat Chemic's fullback Stuart Spruce to the corner. Derek Fox then sent in David Myers in the corner with a lovely long pass. And Northern's other wingman, Carl Hall, who'd been missing out on the fun, got in on the act as Dave Watson sent him over. The same combination again 5 minutes later, Northern now 36-4 ahead. But David Myers wasn't to be denied his moment of glory. Again, Neil Summers was the architect, allowing Myers to complete his hat-trick. Widnes were looking a thoroughly demoralised outfit by now, run ragged by Bradford's non-stop attacking. The final try, coming from deep in their own half, scored by Dave Watson.
After two straight defeats, Warrington needed some kind of rehabilitation, and a points bonanza against poor Oldham provided it. Jonathan Davis kicked, putting in Alan Bateman in the corner. A superb try made it 10-0 for the Wire. Mackey and Cullen doing the spade work. For Kevin Ellis to touch down and be thumped down. That cost Oldham a penalty and a sin binning for the culprit John Clark. Warrington scored the third of their 9 tries in this game when Kiwi Kelly Shelford spun the ball out to Alan Bateman, and his pass was brilliantly held by Jonathan Davis, who made it easy for him to kick the conversion. That was Davis' 24th try in 35 games. Warrington went further ahead in the first half, injury time. Greg Mackey's clever kick allowing Euston Harris to get there before his wing partner Mark Forster. 25-0 at the break. Warrington simply carried on where they left off in the second half. This was the try of the game, an all-Welsh affair that had the Oldham fans singing "Oh My Godfathers" rather than "Land of My Fathers." Davis started it. Euston Harris made a tremendous break down the middle, and Kevin Ellis finished it off. Euston Harris ran over the home side's 6th try, Mackey feeding him the pass close to the line. Oldham got their one consolation try when Steve Gartland's kick through wasn't held by Harris, and former Warrington man Martin Crompton got his fingers to the loose ball. Prop forward Gary Chambers powered his way over at the other end 3 minutes later, 41-6. Oldham were caught downfield and with their pants down for the Wire's 8th. Davis kick, and it was a race for glory for the Warrington men, with Mark Forster the first to the ball. Oldham's demise was complete when that man, Jonathan Davis, who collected a personal tally of 22 points, gave Mark Forster his second try. 55-6 the final score, and Oldham still haven't won.
Salford were ahead through a Steve Blakely penalty, but then their influential standoff was carried off with a suspected broken ankle, and Featherstone took the lead. Mark Aston lobbing the ball over for Carl Gibson. Martin Pearson converted that one and then went over himself, adding the goal to put Featherstone 12-4 up and getting a kick in the ribs for his efforts. Right on half-time, Salford got back into the game when sub Nathan McAvoy stepped neatly back inside to score. And in the second half, the Red Devils took the lead with a marvellous try, created by the speed and guile of Phil Ford. Whoosh through the gap, linking up with second row Craig Randall. Ford took the return pass, kept going, and then sent in young Phil Cousins under the sticks. That gave Salford the lead, but back came Featherstone to recapture the advantage. Gary S. Price got the ball away to Steve Malloy, who took advantage of a hole in the Salford line to put sub Graham Southernwood over. That made it 18-14 to Featherstone, and they increased their lead when Martin Pearson's run dragged Salford one way, and Leo Casey came back inside, where he had support from Mark Aston. But the drama wasn't over as Salford fought back. Nathan McAvoy again showing a good step, and Scott Mahon, formerly of Lee and Parramatta, finishing off and kicking the goal to close the gap to just 4 points. And in the closing seconds, it was McAvoy who grabbed a second try to tie the scores. Mahon couldn't convert. 24-all the final score.
Hull are struggling badly at the moment, and Halifax were in the mood to cash in. Parker, Hagan, Devorty, Eden and the soccer-playing Mark Preston set the Yorkshiremen on the road to victory. However, Hull got back into it when Terry Smirk smuggled the ball over the line. And Hull showed some good handling skills to take the lead. Nolan and Greenwood giving Chris Jackson the ball. 6-8 for the visitors. But Hull couldn't sustain their effort, and when Southernwood linked with Perrott with Devorty, and Devorty with John Bentley, Halifax were back in front. Parker provided the pass for Mark Perrott's run-around, which caught the Hull defence on the hop, 16-8. Hull had made 8 positional changes following their defeat by Castleford, and after Paul Round's juggling act, Hagan fed John Schuster. It was a home try that should have been prevented. Parker and Hagan gave the ball to Eden. He showed that Hull still have plenty to do to brush up on their tackling skills, and Steve Hampson made it 28-8. Southernwood and Hagan helped Gary Devorty to get Halifax to the 40-point mark. And Hagan was involved in the build-up to Halifax's 6th try, when he received Bentley's pass and fed Mark Preston for his 2nd try of the afternoon. Some more ball juggling skills by Halifax, but they managed to keep the ball alive. Preston, substitute Michael Jackson, and Eden allowed Gary Devorty to get his 2nd try, 46-8. Hull did get the last touchdown of the afternoon, but Rob Wilson's reaction to his try emphasised that there was little room for celebration for Hull, although Mal Reilly's last game as Halifax coach was just the send-off he would have wanted.
Wakefield Trinity badly needed to win at Doncaster, and they made a perfect start when Adrian Flynn stepped inside 2 tackles, and then it was child's play for Lee Child, who had a clear run. But the Dons are learning fast about First Division life, and they kept their cool to take control of the game. Rocky Turner setting up substitute John Ellis. Alex Green, with help from Vila Matautia's dummy run, then sent in Sonny Wakarau, whose strength was too much for Trinity. In the second half, the Dons took a 16-4 lead with a slice of luck as John Ellis fumbled the ball, and that seemed to wrong-foot Trinity, allowing Ellis to recover and make the line. Wakefield rallied and threatened a comeback as Mike Forshaw got the ball away despite close attention, and David Bailey kept Trinity in the picture at 16-10. But Doncaster saw off the threat when Green had Matautia surging up in close support. He did the damage. Audley Pennant provided the flying finish.
St Helens broke Workington's hearts at Derwent Park. Former heavyweight boxer Adam Fogarty punching a hole in the home defence for Saints' first try. The game seesawed one way and the other, and Workington hit back when James Pickering picked up the loose ball, did well to feed Mulligan, and Vince Fawcett scored. 4-4. Marwood helped Mark Mulligan to score Workington's second try, but it was the clever dummy which fooled the Saints' defence. St Helens clawed a try back when Golding's lofted pass found joint, and he fed Paul Loughlin. A super change of direction by Dean Marwood, and Mulligan and Burns gave Lee Smith the chance to touch down. 16-8 for Workington. But Workington couldn't pull away from the Knowsley Road outfit, and Sean Casey's pass gave Ian Pickavance his first try of the day. Cooper back in the team after injury, a backflip by Booth, and Pickavance was in for his second. St Helens led 17-8. Bobby Goulding had been in marvellous form all afternoon, and this brilliant individual effort with 18 minutes left put Saints ahead. But Workington showed tremendous character, and the outstanding Mark Mulligan weaved his way through for the home side's fourth try, which he converted. 10 minutes to go, Workington in front by a point. But the St Helens skipper Goulding just wouldn't see his side denied. He fed debut boy Apollo Perolini, and second-row man Sonny Nicholl secured a Saints victory. Cruel on the Derwent Park side, still without a win.
So the Stones Bit of Championship programme from this weekend. A big win for Wigan on Friday, Castleford's victory here today. Elsewhere, Bradford 48, Widnes 4. Doncaster 22, Wakefield 10. Halifax 46, Hull 12. Salford 24, Featherstone 24. Warrington 55, Oldham 6. And Workington 25, St Helens 30. Interesting then at the top of the table, Bradford 5 out of 5 and 10 points. Wigan and Castleford tucked in behind them. They too have 100% records. And look at Doncaster there. Aren't they doing well? Down at the bottom, well, they are black days for Oldham and Workington so far. They need to start winning, and quickly too. And it's a shame to see Hull at the wrong end of the table, isn't it? Into Division 2, Bramley 30, Whitehaven 14. Dewsbury 76, Barrow 8. Highfield 8, Lee 80. Huddersfield 42, Hunslet 18. Hulkingston Rovers 50, Swinton 0. London 10, Keighley 30. Rochdale 42, Carlisle 32. And Rydale York 35, Batley 8. Top of the table in Division 2 then, Hulkingston Rovers 100%ers there. Keighley tucked in behind them, and Lee and Batley not far away. Down at the bottom, Highfield remain at the foot of the table. Barrow also without a win so far. Now coming up on the big league next Friday, we have Featherstone against Bradford Northern, live and exclusive from Post Office Road, 7 o'clock. St Helens against Castleford, and all the highlights again from the First Division this time next week, exclusively here on Sky, 7:30. Boots and All is back on Tuesday at 7. All the gossip from the week. The Australian semi-final series continue. Thursday, 10:30 here on Sky Sports for that. And it's all building up to the grand final on Sunday, September the 25th. 5 a.m. we shall be in the studio in London to bring you the whole event live and exclusive. Join us for that. Join us for Boots and All on Tuesday. Till then, from all the big league team, it's goodbye.